politics in the United States of America. The left has gotten really left, and the right has gotten really right. Everyone's towing the line, and we're getting nowhere. Fast. This is the Rational American. The Rational American. Common sense has gone out the window, and our passion is to open eyes in hopes that people will take a rational look at what America is actually becoming. Put your feelings aside and let's get real. This is the Rational American, and this is your host, Steve Oatley.
What's up? How you guys doing? Welcome to the show. My name is Steve, and this is the Rational American, where you get a rational dose of your day's headlines. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Whatever. It's fun. It's 8:03 p.m. This is live right now. We see everybody. Joan said she's wearing a shirt out of the August box. That was a good box, right? That was a good box. You guys got to leave reviews. I'm going to be sending out those review emails. So everybody that gets those boxes, please leave reviews with photos. Anyway, I'm slowly but surely getting caught up. I worked all weekend, so I was in here all weekend long. I maybe went live on Saturday. I don't remember, but I was in here, got all the rest. There's 2 boxes left, and one is a 3X and one is a large. And I'll tell you why I have them left. It's not because I don't have the stuff. It's because I have an attention to detail. And I didn't like the mugs that I printed for it. The color was a little bit off. You know what I mean? I used a different design, so I wasn't really feeling it. So I'll send those ones out before UPS picks it up tomorrow. The rest of you guys, you probably got shipping notices this weekend. I didn't remember today was a holiday, so UPS does not pick up. But I have a whole stack of them sitting in the back ready to go, plus a bunch of coffee orders. There's going to be a ton more coffee orders going out tomorrow because I'm super behind. And now that I've got everything kind of structured properly here in the warehouse, now I can just get everything out much, much quicker. So tomorrow is the day for that. Yeah, so it's been an interesting weekend, Labor Day weekend, long weekend, right? Everybody sits around and has fun. You hang out with your family, whatever. It's been a political weekend too. Joe Biden traveled around and held rallies, if you want to call them that. Obviously, Donald Trump held his first rally since the raid at Mar-a-Lago, which was a pretty good one. We didn't air it live, but it is on Citizen Stringer. If you want to watch it, it's free. You don't need a membership in order to watch that over there if you missed it. Obviously, we can't upload it to social media. A lot of the news sites will have it up on social media, but for some reason, they get a liberal pass card from YouTube. So if we upload Donald Trump's video, we get a 7-day or 21-day ban on YouTube, any YouTube. It doesn't even matter which YouTube. You know, obviously the main YouTube, the Steve Oatley one, is completely shadow banned. So unless you guys are sharing it out, we're not able to. Nobody could see it. You can't even rank. Like if you try to search for my video right now live, you're not going to be able to find it. And you know what? It is what it is, and that's why we're doing a big push for people to watch. Everything that's going on. But one of the things that I thought was pretty important in what we've been doing, right? So for the past 2 years, many of you guys started watching from the freight broker days, like way before the riots and all that. You know, the guys that work in the transportation, guys and gals that work in the transportation industry, because I used to talk about the trucking industry. I used to work in it, used to be like a trainer and all that stuff, you know. And so I used to have a bunch of videos just on the the trucking and logistics side of things. And then when all the riots and stuff happening, we kind of transitioned into more of instead of just freight and logistics news, then we switched over to the political side because, for one, nobody was actually reporting anything accurate, which is why that's why we got into doing the freight business news side of things because, well, nobody was actually reporting anything. One of the things that's interesting is we covered these riots, right, for days and days and days, like 180 of them, continuous. Like I barely took a day off. You know, I cut my vacation short and everything to show the riots and to show the chaos that was going on throughout the United States. I really got annoyed when I listen to Joe Biden's, declaration of war. All right, let's just call it that. That's what I heard it as. And a lot of people may not agree with that definition. I don't care. This is my show. Welcome. But I took it as a declaration of war. And one of the things that stuck out in the statement was he made a statement talking about political violence and that he was going to act against political violence. He was going to stop the political violence. And that bugged me because, for so long, we heard Democrat lawmakers actively cheering on political violence in 2020. And we covered it live. We covered the political violence of 2020. A lot of people want to say, well, Black Lives Matter wasn't political. It most certainly was. Because not only were the protesters marching down the streets saying Black Lives Matter, they were also marching down the streets saying F Trump. And everybody that watched those live streams every single day, you know that because we all watched it together. Thousands and thousands of us watched it together every day. But I took offense, not because I'm a Trump supporter or MAGA guy or whatever, and I'm not a MAGA guy either, and to be honest, I support Trump because he was a good president. And I like the way he governs. I don't really care for Trump as a person. And I've said that before because he's not the ideal person, the idea, and maybe that's why it works so well, right? He's not the most charismatic, or maybe he is charismatic. You know what I'm saying? I just wish he never used Twitter. If he never used Twitter, no one would have anything to complain, including me, because, Twitter was the downfall of that guy. But anyway, so this is what's kind of interesting. We watched all these riots. We watched all these protests and all that stuff throughout, 2020. In 2021, they immediately pretty much stop after the inauguration, all the riots and protests. Every now and then we'll have a weekend where there's an outburst or this, and there may be some new, escalation. I wouldn't be surprised if we do have new escalation that begins. We had the police officer shooting in Ohio last week, or the week before in August, and they released the body cam footage last week of them murdering the guy that was sleeping in his bed. He didn't have a gun, and I'm a fair and balanced person. They murdered that guy. He didn't have a weapon on him, and they should have never fired. But people started marching and protesting and doing that kind of stuff in the streets, and I thought to myself, well, Joe Biden said he wasn't going to tolerate political violence across the United States. Will they actually take a hard line on it? And then I was like, no, they won't. I thought about it for a second, and I was like, maybe they will. Nah, who are we kidding? No, they're not going to. Because I remembered what happened in 2020. And I think a large majority of America forgot what happened in 2020. So I'm digging deep in the archives. And now that those videos are going to be available about 40 hours a day is what I'm uploading to Citizen Stringer TV. If you want to be curious, or if you are curious about the riots that happened 2 years ago today, well, guess what? I'm going to air them on Citizen Stringer TV directly after this show. And then tomorrow night after my show, I'm going to air the riots that occurred that day. And so on and so on and so on. And they're all on demand as well. You do have to be a member to see them, but go to citizenstringer.com or citizenstringer.tv/join. Become a member. If you choose the annual plan and use code Riot, you get 50% off your annual subscription. So that's a really good one, a really good deal. And I'm going to be pumping out probably about 40 hours a day. Today I uploaded a ton. So for example, today's version, actually, you know what? I was going to do this later for a break, so I will. I made a little promo video. Some of you may have seen it on social media about the day's events. What happened 2 years ago today? And it takes place. It involves 2 heavily armed militias marching down the street. Oh, and the question, what happened to Angry Viking? I have the answer for you. All that and more on this episode of Rational American. Anyway, but before we get into all that basic stuff, I have to talk about the mass shootings that happened this week, right? Right? And we can't even look at the whole week because, well, there's just too many mass shootings. Just in the past 3 days, 72 hours, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there were 15 mass shootings across the United States, most of which you never heard about. Why? Because they're minorities. Mainstream media is racist as can be, and they don't believe in talking about minorities. But luckily for you, we actually do the research here. So beginning on Friday, we're going to run through them all real quick. I actually wrote it all out, and I did the, where I was talking and it's writing. So it still has some of my humor and all that stuff in it too, which is amazing, right? Yeah. How can you have humor when you talk about 18 people dead and 58 others injured and a total of 15 mass shootings in the past 72 hours? I have no idea. Mass shootings began on Friday, which had 3 mass shootings with a total of 2 people killed, 11 people injured. Brooklyn, New York, 4 men were injured in a drive-by shooting outside of a motorcycle club in Brooklyn that was hosting a party Friday evening. According to police, a gunman in a white sedan opened fire in front of 223 Russell Street in industrial section of Greenpoint about 8:30 p.m. on Friday. The scene of the shooting was a home in Brooklyn, and apparently it serves as a clubhouse for the Unknown Bikers Motorcycle Club. That's the name, Unknown Bikers, which was founded in 1974 in New York. Now, it's important to realize while the media classifies them as an outlaw motorcycle gang, when you look at the history of the group, it seems to be not all that bad. The group was first established in Williamsburg in Brooklyn in 1974. Before the club located to that area, it was known for high drug sales, and drug dealers used to sell drugs on the street corners and prostitutes and all that stuff. And all of that was eradicated very quickly after the motorcycle club moved in 1974. So they've actually gotten some pretty good press from that, some of the charity stuff they do. I've never heard of them up until this shooting. But the good thing about this mass shooting is that nobody really suffered any major injuries. They're all out of the hospital so far. No suspect information is available. No motive is known as well, and no suspect description was provided. Also on Friday, 2 people were killed and 5 people were injured in a mass shooting in Fresno, California. According to police, they were dispatched to the area of F.E. Street and Grant Avenue early Friday morning to sounds of gunfire. When they arrived, they located 5 adults, all suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 other people were discovered deceased. There were no children present in this home, which is lucky. Police do believe the violence happened in a home where they found multiple guns and a large amount of drugs. And it's interesting because the police chief actually held a press conference and said the amount of drugs was quite a bit more than what would normally be used for one person's use. They have no suspect description, and no motive for the shooting. No drugs were taken. Weird. It was, however, a typical night in Minneapolis as well, with 4 seriously injured after a shooting outside a North Minneapolis liquor store. According to police, officers responded to a report of a shooting just after 7 p.m. Friday outside Merwin Liquors at the corner of North Lyndale and West Broadway Avenue. 2 men and 2 women were found shot and taken to area hospitals with life-threatening injuries. Investigators say a fight spilled into the parking lot and some of the people got into a vehicle. Witnesses say the gunfire erupted from that vehicle as it sped away because they're all cowards and they can't fight with their fists anymore in America. Saturday was a day to remember in America, with 5 mass shootings claiming the lives of 5 people and leaving nearly 20 people injured. It's important to realize that most of these shootings are also taking place in Democrat-controlled cities. Not that it really matters, right? Because media is not going to talk about it anyway, so who gives a fuck? In Chino, California, a 16-year-old boy has been arrested for allegedly shooting 5 people early Saturday morning at a party in the 1500 block of West 5th Street, according to police. Now, according to detectives and patrol officers, they viewed video captured at the time of the incident, and several officers recognized the suspect as a 16-year-old jackass from prior contacts with police. They then searched for the teen, and while that was occurring, people familiar with the suspect were attempting to convince him to surrender himself to police. All of the victims injured, and he eventually did around 4 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. All of the victims injured they all suffered non-life-threatening injuries, which is good. No motive is known for that shooting other than, the kid didn't have a good house, didn't have a dad that taught him how to fight with his fists instead of guns, because they're all pansies. Anyway, 2 people are dead and 2 are listed in critical condition after a mass shooting in Putnam County, Florida on Saturday. Apparently, police say shots rang out just before 11:45 p.m. Saturday night on North 18th Street outside Vic's Supper Club. I guess you go there to get sucked per. I don't know where I was going with that one. Anyway, according to witnesses, loud music was heard coming from the area, and then suddenly it stopped. And then they heard 4 or 5 gunshots. According to police, 5 people were located in the area, all of them transported to local hospitals, where 2 died from their injuries, 2 are in critical condition, and 1 suffered non-critical injuries. There is no suspect information. No motive is known for the shooting, and they did not provide a description either for that shooter. I wonder why. According to Prince George's County Police in Maryland, a 15-year-old was shot and killed at a 7-Eleven in a mass shooting around 8 p.m. on Saturday. 3 other people were also injured. According to police, shortly after 8 p.m., 2 people walked into a 7-Eleven and opened fire and then fled. Police say it doesn't appear to be a robbery attempt or a random incident. There's a $25,000 reward out for the capture of the gunman, although no motive is known for the shooting and no suspect information is available. They also did not provide a description. In an effort to curb the crazy amount of violence in the city, the county executive announced a 30-day curfew for those 17 years old or younger. That just happened a few minutes ago, actually earlier this afternoon. There was a big press conference about it. And they're like, we got to curb this violence. Let's lock up all these kids in their houses because their parents don't do their job. So we're going to do it for them, right? Really novel concept, right? Anyway, most of these articles didn't even identify any of these victims. So keep that in mind. So everyone talks about how Black Lives Matter, except the majority of these victims are all black, and apparently media doesn't care. Where are Black Lives Matter? That's what I've said all the time, and people get pissed at me. Where, like, if you're going to march down the streets for honestly innocent black people that are getting killed every single day across America, you may be surprised at how many people actually join you if you're actually going and marching down the street for, real thing. Because I do believe Black Lives Matter, and I wish the media did. I wish everyone else did. I wish they talked about it. Because the majority of the victims, the majority of the 58 victims that we're describing here, and the majority of the 18 people that were killed, if not all of them, were all minorities. Go figure that one. And yet the media is silent. It's weird. Weird. Anyway, in Birmingham, Alabama, around 9:20 p.m., North Precinct officers were dispatched to the 100 block of, see how I did that? Where I was like 9, and I almost got to say 50, but then I read it and it said 9:20, so I had to correct it. I did it in a really sly way. That's how I roll. Anyway, North Precinct officers were dispatched. So I started in my water. I can't even get through this shit. In my water, I started using this little shit, right? I put a little too much in it, and this has a lot of caffeine. So if you can't tell, I'm pretty wound, but whatever. This is going to be a good show, okay? This is going to be a really good show today. So you may want to fasten your seatbelt. Anyway, officers were dispatched to the area of 100 block 3rd Avenue West on reports of a multiple shot spotter. Now, you may be curious if you're watching Live on Patrol or whatever the hell that new one, it used to be Live PD and now it sucks. But that show, like if you're watching that this week in Paterson, New Jersey, obviously, I used to have warehouses in Paterson, New Jersey. It sucks. You didn't go out there at night because you'd die, essentially. And it's not changed, apparently. They have shootings, and they have all these sensors so they could tell when gunshots are going off, and they alert the police, and the police will go there before even 911 calls come in. It's crazy, but a lot of cities across America have those shot spotter things now, which is, it's nutty. Anyway, shot spotter alerts and then the call was updated to multiple people. When officers arrived, they observed 2 victims lying in the middle of the street, deceased. What? I can't even read my shorthand here. It says one. Oh, okay. I see. A third. See, I have shorthand typing, I guess. A third male was observed inside the apartment complex suffering from gunshot wounds, and a fourth was self-transported to the hospital. No suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting. The 2 men that died were 24 and 25 years old. No description was provided for the alleged shooters. Not that it matters, right? Why do we care so much? I have no idea. The 21-year-old man is because they're Americans. That's why we care, because they're dying in the streets here in America, and they are Americans, and the mainstream media is silent. Anyway, a 21-year-old man is being treated for serious injuries at an area hospital after being shot at a party in the 8400 block of Emmanuel Road in Yorkville, Illinois. This is also on Saturday. According to a statement from the sheriff's office, 3 women aged 22 and 1 aged 18 were also shot in the incident and were treated and released from local area hospitals. Unlike every other article we've mentioned thus far, suspect information was provided for this. And they are looking for a Hispanic male in his early 20s, about 5'10", with a thin build and a goatee. He was wearing a white shirt. However, they did not provide any motive for the shooting. Now you think You got to be done, Steve, right? Nope. Sunday, 4 mass shootings, 7 dead, 14 people injured. 5 people were injured in a mass shooting in Charleston, South Carolina, early yesterday morning, according to police. All have been treated at local hospitals and are suffering from injuries that are non-life-threatening, so that's good. 2 arrests have been made thus far. One guy, Tavon Davis, age 20, and a 16-year-old juvenile have been arrested and charged with gun-related charges, but not for the actual shooting. Just, people that aren't able to possess guns. I know, wait, Steve, hold on. They charged them for illegally possessing guns? I thought all the mass shootings that were conducted by people that legally were bought and carried guns. They're AR-15s. Nope. Actually, that's not true at all. The majority of the mass shootings, in fact, upwards of 70% of the mass shootings that we report on every single day here on Citizen Stringer are, taken out by people that were not legal gun owners. And in fact, the guns weren't legal. And in fact, they're not legally able to buy them. So why they're trying to go after the legal gun owners? Oh, maybe it's because they want to make the world victims, everyone victims, right? If you take away the guns and then someone tries to kill you, guess what? You can't defend yourself. You're going to be like a cop that's retired and, he reaches for a gun and realizes it's not there anymore. What movie was that? There was a show where they did that right at the end, where a cop retires. It was a good show too. Remember the kid from the OC? I used to watch that because I grew up in foster care and I was jealous because he got to go live with a rich family. Anyway, big sad story there. But remember that kid from the OC? I think he also played the detective in Gotham. Well, he was a cop, like a rookie cop, I think, in this show about LAPD. I don't know what show it was. But the main cop, main cop in that show, the one that was a trainer that had a pill addiction from buying, or he had a pill addiction, right? Because he hurt his back on the job. I don't remember what the show is called, but it's a really good one. You guys got to watch it. Anyway, he ends up dying. The cop, he retires, and then he's getting mugged or something, and someone goes to rob him, and he reaches for his gun, but he no longer has his gun. And he dies. That's a good movie. That was a good movie. I forgot which one it was. Forgot what show that was. Southland, there Ryan is. Yeah, Southland. Good show. Anyway, but yeah, in Chicago, also on September 4th. September 4th was an important day for me. I was, having birthday cake with my kid. We finally got him the PlayStation 5. And I tell you what, there's no reason, even PlayStation price gouged on that. They send us the email because, you got to do the lottery thing, right? And I missed the one 6 months ago because I didn't check my email. So every single day we've been waiting to get, re-upped on this lottery. And then boom, I resubmitted something. They tell us, oh, there's one available for you. We have to ship it. And it's $550 plus tax and shipping. And I'm like, this bullshit. You can get it online, but you can't because it's not there. But normally it says $440. They force you to get the stupid game that my kid doesn't even like called Horizon or some shit like that. He likes Call of Duty and that kind of game. Long story short, he has his PlayStation 5 after, I don't know. We said that's how we bribed him to move from Florida. And then we never got it because it was all back ordered. And so finally, he got one for his 12th birthday and he's very happy. But you know who's not happy? Some families in Chicago. Because on September 4th, around 6:40 p.m., Chicago police located 4 male victims near the front of a residence when an unknown offender approached the victims, produced a handgun, and fired shots. There are no suspects in custody. There's no motive known for their shooting. There were 2 18-year-olds and 2 20-year-olds shot. One of the 18-year-old men died as a result of that. 18 years old, just a kid. According to St. Paul, Minnesota police, there was also a mass shooting that claimed the lives of 3 people yesterday afternoon around 4:30 p.m. Police say they responded to the 900 block of Case Avenue on reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they found 2 adults suffering from gunshot wounds outside of the location and then discovered 3 additional people deceased inside. There's no suspect information available and no motive is known for the shooting, and they're asking for the public's help. They actually held a press conference maybe an hour or 2 ago where they were asking for the public's help, saying that this has to stop. Shootings are going crazy across America. They don't know any motive, no suspect description, none of that. Also, 2 people were killed. 5 others were injured by gunfire after a bunch of babies who don't know how to fight with their hands pulled guns and started shooting each other at a party in Norfolk, Virginia. According to police, they responded to a house near Old Dominion University around midnight where they found 4 women and 3 men with gunshot wounds. According to Michael Goldsmith, the city's interim police chief, a fight broke out, and once the fight started, someone pulled a gun and decided to open fire. A 25-year-old and a 19-year-old died at the hospital. No motive is known for the shooting. No suspects have been named and are in custody, and no description was provided to the media. Anywho, that's not it. And so far today is Monday, okay? September 5th. It's 8:28 p.m. This number's likely going to go up higher. There's been 3 mass shootings today across America, leaving 4 people dead and 17 people injured today alone. 1 person was killed and at least 10 others were injured at a shooting outside a bar early this morning in Cleveland, Ohio. According to police, they responded to multiple calls reporting shots fired at the Just Us Lounge in Delhi in East Cleveland around 2:53 this morning. When officers arrived, several victims were taken to various hospitals. One of those victims died. However, no suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting. No description was provided to the media because, well, they're racist. Or the media didn't provide a description. Who knows? Because I bet the police are providing the description, and then the editor's like, we can't write that. We can't do it, guys. Anyway, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations is investigating a shooting incident that left 1 person dead in Hartwell, Georgia. According to police, they responded to a nightclub around 2:15 a.m. called Jack's Bar and Grill, located on Highway 29. They responded there for reports of shots fired. When officers arrived at the scene, they located 3 shooting victims, one of which who was pronounced dead, and the other 2 were taken to local hospitals with life-threatening injuries. Sadly, one of them also passed away from his injuries. A 4th victim self-transported to the hospital and has been treated and released. No suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting, and no description was provided of the shooter. So how you're supposed to actually find out who it is? You know what I mean? You should say yo, it's this big scary white dude with a scar down his face. Those are descriptors that, there's how many big scary white dudes are there with scars down their face? We all know if it was a big scary white dude with a scar down his face, they'd report it. They're not reporting it because the shooter is not white. And I said it because that's what we do here. We report the truth, even though sometimes for people it's hard to hear. And last but not least, a man and a woman are dead after gunfire erupted early this morning, in the Hunting Park section of Philadelphia. 4 other male victims, including a 16-year-old teenager, were wounded. The victims are among more than 30 people who were shot in Philadelphia alone so far this weekend. Just crazy. Just crazy, I'll tell you what. According to police, gunfire erupted just before 1 a.m. in the 700 block of West Russell Street. The ages of the deceased are 33 years old. Buffering. Not buffed. I buffed for a second. I apologize for that, but it looks like we're back from being buffing, and now we're finishing. Anyway, the ages of the deceased were 33 years old, and that was a woman, and a 19-year-old man. No suspect information is available. No motive is known for the shooting, and they did not provide a description. Isn't it crazy? That was just 3 days. Just 3 days. Stay tuned because every Monday we do that. But first, are you curious about what happened 2 years ago today? 2 years ago today? Well, check it out. coming.
Here you go. Here you go.
This is fucking insane. All right. Yeah. So if you guys want to watch that. So I saw a lot of people talking. Well, so that's on citizenstringer.tv. All those videos, and it's a lot. Like you'd be up all night watching it, right? But they're on demand, so you could pause it and resume later. It actually saves it. And you can watch it on your big screen and all that stuff. Go to Citizen Stringer or download the app from the Google Play or Apple to iTunes, whatever. It's on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all that good stuff too. Citizen Stringer TV. Sign up for a membership today, an annual membership. Use code RIOT and you save 50% off your yearly subscription. It truly helps us when you do that as well, because we're trying to, it takes a lot of bandwidth. So when I start adding more of this videos, because I'm going to upload every single video that we recorded of those riots, we're going to upload them. It's about 10,000 hours of footage, and we are going to upload that. I'm doing about 40 hours a day because it's so intensive. But go sign up now, because immediately following this show at 9:30 tonight, we start that from the beginning. But I saw a lot of you guys were curious, and I wanted to provide some updates on what those groups are doing, right? So the first group that you saw, the guys that were not wearing all black, that was the Angry Viking. I don't know if it was an unnamed militia, because that's what we're calling. Angry Viking was a guy that was his like alter ego or something like that. Dylan was his name. And I'm not saying his full name because I'm a nice guy. But they marched on Louisville in response to NFAC, the not fucking around coalition, an all black militia that marched in July. In July, they were so ill prepared, and some with fake guns, some with real guns. They actually shot themselves that day in July. But one of the things they did, and that whole video is also up on citizenstringer.tv as well. You can watch them march. They march through the town. They shoot themselves because they're a bunch of morons. And then they go up and they say they're going to kidnap law enforcement. They're going to take matters in their own hands. And if the Breonna Taylor officers aren't federally charged or aren't charged, then they are going to burn the courthouse down. That caused the Angry Viking or the Viking, all these 3% groups that all joined together under the Angry Viking group to mobilize and go to Louisville, Kentucky to stop them, right? Because nobody really understood why the police hadn't arrested this guy for threatening to kill law enforcement in a public statement, why he was allowed to go, why they were pointing guns at everybody. So it's crazy. But long story short, NFAC doesn't really exist anymore. There's a lot of issues about financial stuff. There were a lot of financial mishandling allegations after the final march in Louisville, and they all kind of faded into obscurity. The one guy, Grandmaster McFluffy, John F. Fitzgerald, I think that's his name, right? He's a washed up military, dishonorably discharged twice from the military. He was actually charged for that same day, I think it was that same day. They were marching in Louisville, Kentucky, and or maybe it was the night before. He pointed his AR-15 up at a roof with a flashlight on, and it turns out, guess who was up there? In addition to local law enforcement, there were federal officers up there. So they actually wrapped him up back in like October of last year, or earlier than that. Wrapped him up, charged him with everything, and he actually, in May, he was found guilty of 2 felonies for, using a weapon in the commission of crime or something like that. 2 federal felonies. And his sentencing, however, it was originally scheduled for August 22nd because he's going to jail. I think he's in jail right now because the jury found him guilty. But his sentencing, he faces up to 7 years, was scheduled for August 22nd. But we discovered today that it was pushed back to November 22nd or November 20th or something like that because his lawyer bailed. So NFAC is done. But a lot of people have been asking me for a long time, what about Angry Viking? What happened to Angry Viking? The only thing I can surmise is that Biden got the best of him. Watch.
What is the role of the Angry Vikings? So basically what we're here to do, honestly, like I was just telling these guys, we were here in response to the NFAC, who put out a video, and whether it was misunderstood or not, he said he was going to be back in 4 weeks and burn this building to the ground. That's the way I interpreted it.
So what's the role of the Angry Vikings?
Oh, we're just here to rally. We had a rally this morning, and we're here just to protect the building. That's it. And we're here to do this. Meet and talk.
Open up the safe, bitches got a lot to say. To see in your face, that'll put you in your place. 7 letters on the plate, fuck you when I break. I got car.
You guys have been asking me for a long time what's been going on with that guy. And I've known it for a long time. And I've just been really, really nice and not doing it. But now, but I have to say, in all sincerity, like, he is now a social media influencer, okay? Here's the problem with leaders of movements, right? And I'm not saying that he has any, they don't believe in their fucking movement. Like, that's the only thing I could say. That these people don't. Like the Black Lives Matter lady, she's getting sued now for swindling $10 million, right? The Grandmaster McFluffy Nuts is now in federal prison for pointing a gun at somebody else, and he's turned his back on everything else. And then you got Angry Viking dressing up like a woman dancing on fucking TikTok. Like you can't make this stuff up. These people who apparently are so devoted in what they believe in, they all start all these things that make a lot of money, right? Or perceived to. Like what happened? Didn't they develop some big social media thing and it was going to take off? And maybe there's like a backstory there. And I'll be honest, like I've had some calls. All right. And do I like, for example, the Angry Viking, good dude, right? Super nice guy. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. For the life of me, I just can't understand it. You know, because if you have such a big following, granted, he was nuked off social media and all that, but maybe there was some issues going on with financial stuff. Maybe they weren't making money because they're all blocked and kicked off of every fucking platform. Like you want to talk about censored. Those dudes were censored. Like all the people that were part of it. And I've talked to some of them, but I don't know, man. Someone said he's a content creator like us, bud. It's just entertainment. Yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be entertainment. What he was doing. Caring for our country is not supposed to be entertainment. If it was entertainment, I wouldn't even do this show. This isn't entertaining to me. I fucking hate doing this every single day. I would just be a coffee guy in the background. I do this show out of necessity. I talk about politics out of necessity. I don't do it for money. I could do virtually anything else and make more than we do now. I'm doing this because somebody has to, right? And nobody is. And I don't know why, for the life of me. I don't know why or I don't know the extreme. Like, how do you go from being like a patriot, standing up for Second Amendment rights, standing up for the country and what's right, to that? You know, I just don't know. And for the life of me, I don't ever want to know. You know, and yeah. So with that said, that's about it. But it's very confusing. But if you want to watch him while he was still like a normal person and not dancing for TikTok and wearing women's clothing and wigs and all that, if you want to watch him actually give good speeches and talk about why he marched into Louisville, sign up, become a member on citizenstringer.tv today. Choose the annual subscription, use code Riot, you save 50% off, and you can watch the entire video. It's going to run until about 6:30 tomorrow morning, because the first 5.5 hours is these guys. They held a big rally, and then they marched to downtown. There were some skirmishes with the Black Lives Matter because they were very pissed off that this group of white guys was marching around with guns in Louisville and it wasn't their city and blah, blah, blah. That lasted for about 5.5 hours. I took an hour or two break, and then NFAC started their march. You may remember September 5th, 2 years ago, COVID lockdown, Kentucky Derby was postponed. They actually did it under guard with National Guard and special, hired, because I was talking to people that were inside the Derby, and they had a shit ton of private security. And you got like Saudi princes and stuff that were in that building. Like, they had more lethal ammo, from what I've been told, inside that Kentucky Derby than anywhere else. Anywhere in Kentucky, like at that point. They probably had lasers and shit trained at all these NFAC members. But someone said, I go by judge, not yet. People judge me all the time. This is what I do for a living. People judge me all the time. So I'm not worried about being judged. But yeah, anyway. So, and then after that, then we switch over. They're rioting. As soon as I kick on the third feed, they're rioting somewhere. And you guys could see this all on Citizen Stringer too. I've updated the pages. I'll do that actually towards the end of the show, because I actually have more news and shit to talk about. But I will walk through and how you can search for particular videos and stuff of the day. Anyway, so here's some big news out of the Trump campaign today. Not campaign, but like the Trump, Mar-a-Lago search, DOJ, blah, blah, blah. Everyone said he's trying to sell secrets, but all fucking lies. He was granted today. A federal judge sided with former President Donald Trump on Monday, granting his bid for a special master to review documents seized by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon, who was appointed by Donald Trump, which is kind of interesting. Also, then she was confirmed by 33 Democrats that day too, even though everyone's going to be like, it's a Trump-appointed attorney, whatever. Anyway, she authorized an independent expert to examine nearly 13,000 records seized during the raid at Donald Trump's Florida home on August 8th. It's a legal victory for Trump. Cannon also temporarily halted the Department of Justice from reviewing the records or using them in its criminal investigation, which is crazy. The Department of Justice strongly objected to the appointment of special master last week. In a 36-page filing, the agency argued that Trump should not be subject to executive privilege review, given that he is a former president and the FBI is part of the current executive branch. Right? See what I'm doing there? In addition to being unnecessary, the DOJ argued that a special master could impede its ongoing investigation. The ruling is likely to delay the DOJ's probe into Trump's mishandling of classified documents, as the decision prohibits criminal investigators from reviewing the seized material until the special master's review is complete. Other special master's reviews have taken several months. Now, questions remain about executive privilege. Cannon disagreed with the DOJ's position that executive privilege did not apply to Trump, a former president under investigation by a current executive branch. That's how the court system views it, because the FBI is the hand of the executive branch, i.e. Joe Biden. She wrote that the DOJ's filing arguably overstates the law. The judge said in her decision that even any assertion of executive privilege by plaintiff ultimately fails in this context, that possibly even if likely, does not negate a former president's ability to raise the privilege as an initial matter. Accordingly, because the privilege review team did not screen for material potentially subject to executive privilege, further review is required for that additional purpose. Because the review team, this is one of the things that came out in the DOJ document, is the review team. And it was weird because the Department of Justice admitted fault in saying that the review team that was reviewing these documents didn't even have the security clearances to read these documents, therefore broke the law by reading documents that they weren't even cleared to read. That's the craziest thing that's going on. And that's one of the reasons why the Department of Justice objected to this, saying, well, we've already kind of broken it. We've already kind of broken the law. And one of the things that was interesting in the actual DOJ, they said in May, I think it was 22nd of 2002, the Biden administration, they said this was under the direction at the request of the president of the United States, i.e. Biden, that this whole search was. Even though Biden said he had no idea what was going on, Biden is the one that authorized in May them to conduct this investigation into Donald Trump for this. So anyone that wants to pretend it's not political is just lying to yourself because, well, clearly it is. And everyone knew it was and blah, blah, blah. Now the truth comes out and it is what it is. Cannon again sided with Trump, saying as a potential indictment would result a unique decree of stigma. Meaning that if they indict him, that would be interesting, or that would be detrimental. I don't think it would. I think it would give him a boost in the polls. But it would be detrimental should he decide to run again. And it tarnishes his legacy. And that's why she said it would be a unique degree of stigma. She argued that a special master would prevent any improper disclosures, similar to what the DOJ has already done, that put the former president at risk of unquantifiable potential harm, meaning harm, beyond repair, which is crazy. She said, as a function of the plaintiff's former position of the president of the United States, the stigma associated with the subject seizure is in a league of its own, she wrote. A future indictment based to any degree on property that ought to be returned would result in reputational harm of a decidedly different order of magnitude. Interesting. But she did agree with the Department of Justice in one question that could undercut Trump's defense, according to Newsweek, saying that there has not been a compelling showing of callous disregard for plaintiffs' constitutional rights. She wrote, this factor cuts against the exercise of equitable jurisdiction, which is kind of interesting because they're saying, well, they didn't show a callous disregard for plaintiffs' constitutional rights while they stormed his home and raided his house instead of calling him on the phone and saying, hey, you got some papers that belong to us. Like, unbelievable. But you know what? Who cares, right? You know what I mean? Well, they're going to indict him probably anyway. Joe Biden is going to continue to go out and say, we kicked Big Pharma's ass this year, whatever he said in his stupid press conference this weekend. That's making its rounds on social media. And almost everyone is forgetting, like he's saying, we really stuck it to Big Pharma, right? By cutting all the pharmaceuticals, right? So now it used to cost $20, but now it costs $40 or backwards. $40 average for a prescription. Now it's $20 under the Medicare. Yay, Joe Biden. No. Everyone's forgetting the fact that he's given tens of billions of dollars to these very same pharmaceutical companies in COVID money. Everybody's forgetting it. Who do you think manufactures the COVID vaccines that he's given upwards of $50 billion to since he took office? Who do you think manufactures them? Guess who it is? And the very same drug manufacturers that he's now saying, oh, that you have to lower your prices. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird just how it works? Like if you actually pay attention to some shit sometimes, it's unbelievable. Anyway, here's an interesting article at the AP. They decided to do a shred of real journalism, it seems. As hundreds of migrants line up against an Arizona border wall around 4 a.m., agents try to separate them into groups by nationality. Anyone from Russia or Bangladesh? I need somebody else from Russia here. An agent shouts and then quietly, almost to himself, said, these are Romanian. It's a routine task for Border Patrol in the wee hours in this flat expanse of desert where the wall ends. Migrants from at least 115 countries have stopped here in the last year, but that may be less striking than what's missing. Do you know what's missing from all of the migrants that are crossing the border? Can you guess what's missing? Mexicans. Yeah. Even the AP is now reporting on it saying, what? So, yes, Mexicans are virtually absent. Instead, families from Venezuela, Colombia, Haiti, Cuba, Brazil, India, and dozens of other countries arrive in Yuma after wading through these knee-deep Colorado River. Their presence reflects how a pandemic-era rule still shapes the journeys of many migrants, even though much of the U.S. has moved on from COVID-19. The changing demographics marks a shift away from recent past where migrants were predominantly from Mexico and Central America's Northern Triangle countries, which include Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. That's especially clear at some of the busiest crossings like Yuma and Eagle Pass, where several people have died in recent days while trying to cross the Rio Grande. I think the number is 12 in the past 2 weeks. Mexicans still cross elsewhere, but often try to elude capture because they are likely to be expelled under a pandemic rule that denies them a chance to seek asylum, according to the AP. Mexicans still account for 7 of every 10 encounters at the Border Patrol's Tucson, Arizona sector, where smugglers smugglers ordered them to walk at night with black painted water jugs, camouflage backpacks, and boots with carpeted soles to avoid leaving tracks in the sand. Migrants who are not from Mexico and the Northern Triangle accounted for 41% of stops on the border from October through July, up from only 12% 3 years earlier. In Yuma, they wear sandals and carry shopping bags stuffed with belongings over their shoulders. Some carry toddlers. The migrants typically walk a short distance through tribal lands to surrender to agents, expecting to be released to pursue their immigration cases. Meanwhile, Mexicans made up of 35% of all border encounters from October through July, higher than 3 years ago, but well below the 85% reported in 2011 and the 95% at the turn of the century. In theory, the rule that denies migrants the right to seek asylum on the grounds of preventing the spread of COVID-19 applies to all nationalities, but in practice, Title 42 is enforced largely for migrants who are accepted by Mexico, which has agreed to take in people expelled from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, as well as its own citizens. In Yuma, Title 42 has been almost non-existent, with the pandemic rule being applied in only 192 of the 24,424 stops in July, which is less than 1%. In Tucson, it was used in 71% of the stops. A court order has kept Title 42 in place indefinitely there. So it's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy that the majority of the people that are crossing the United States border from Mexico are not Mexicans. And the AP is even starting to report this. And you know what's weird is I'm seeing a dramatic shift in actual reporting. Even CNN has been super critical of the border in the past couple of weeks. Now, why? Is it because they know that there's going to be an uptick before the midterms and they're trying to use this as a driving factor to try to get Democrats that are running or in contested races to talk about the border? Because here's the thing, the border is a hot topic. Everybody, it doesn't matter where the fuck you live. You can live in bumfuck Idaho or Missouri or somewhere that's not even close. Idaho is close to a border, but you know what I mean? Somewhere that's not even close to a border and where it doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me. It's a worldwide issue. It's a nationwide issue. It's a local issue. Everybody wants to know about it. And I got a feeling that's why the media is talking about it. That's why CNN is talking about it. That's why the AP is actually doing a shred of real journalism writing about it. And it's pretty entertaining to watch them scramble to, try to do a little bit of real journalism. They don't do real journalism too much. Anyway, I need to take a sip of water. So, enjoy Angry Viking's video again.
What is the role of the Angry Vikings? So basically what we're here to do, honestly, like I was just telling these guys, we were here in response to the NFAC, who put out a video, and whether it was misunderstood or not, he said he was going to be back in 4 weeks and burn this building to the ground. That's the way I interpreted it.
What's the role of the Angry Vikings?
Oh, we're just here to we had a rally this morning, and we're here just to protect the building. That's it. And we're here to do this. Meet and talk.
Open up the safe, bitches got a lot to say. To see in your face, that'll put you in your place. 7 letters on the plate, fuck you when I break. I got car.
That's never going to get old. And trust me, I got permission from April to play that before. I even said, like, I'm like, am I crossing this, like, line? My wife is like, no, just play it. Like, you can't not play it because he's a patriot, right? No, you got to play it because it's still news, because everyone always asks you. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. But yeah. So you guys, everyone's been asking forever, like, where's Angry Viking? Where is he? Well, there you go. There he is. And you know what? He's incredible. And I'm not telling people to go and criticize him. He's literally helping people on that platform, on TikTok, all the time. Inspirational stuff, workouts, all sorts of stuff. But you couldn't pay me any certain amount of money to dress up like a chick and go, boom. No, it's not going to happen. Ever. Ever. Anywho, speaking of paying me, guess what? In addition to doing this new uploading all of our Riot footage onto citizenstringer.tv, where you can use code RIOT on your annual membership and save 50%. That's huge. It's like a $50 sale. It's really good. Our new boxes are out. So many of you guys, and I keep forgetting, and I get emails from you guys after that are like, why aren't you mentioning it? We are doing a Key West giveaway. 2 days, 2 people, full airfare and hotel lodging. I may just do like I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but you may get like a gift certificate to like Airbnb where you could use it wherever you want. Because some people are like, if I win, I don't want to go to Key West, Florida. I want to go over here. So I may just take an average and just say, okay, here's $2,000. There you go. That's what you get. In terms of, I can't give you cash because that's a whole different thing, but in terms of the prizes. But so what we're doing at the end of this month, October 1st, we are doing a live drawing. Now, every order on puretruthcoffee.com is an entry. And you can go on the website and find ways to do it for free if you don't want to buy anything from our store because you don't like us nor want to support us. But we have to, by law, give you away. But I tell you what, you better follow those instructions, because if you don't follow those instructions, your entry's thrown away, because you have to follow those instructions. Anyway, you can buy anything from our store and get an entry. Or if you buy one of our new mega boxes, the October mega boxes, which you can find on our website. If I was prepared, I would have this for you, but I wasn't. But what you can do is you can go to the link that's in your chat right now. I'll talk about John Sullivan in a second. I actually looked up his case earlier. So the link that is in the chat right now is the link to our new October mega boxes. These are going to be great, just like all the other ones. Also going to do a TV giveaway as part of this. But if you purchase one of these mega boxes, in addition to being entered to win a TV and all the same stuff we do with all the mega boxes, you will get a double entry into our mega Key West giveaway. So go over to puretruthcoffee.com. In the menu button, you can see mega box, or click on the link. Buy the mega boxes now. It's $135 with shipping. It comes with 3 custom tees, a custom hoodie. A lot of you guys got hats this past week, because I had a bunch of the PTCC hats. So a lot of you guys got those, people that I thought had small heads, right? So the people that had the larger boxes, I figured you didn't have a small head because we only had smaller larges left. And then a bunch of coffee, custom mugs, patriotic bandanas were in this one, stickers, all sorts of other stuff. But go to puretruthcoffee.com, pick up one of the mega boxes now. You get a double entry to win a trip for 2 to Key West, Florida, a 2-day trip. We're doing that live drawing October 1st, rain or shine, so be there. And hopefully you guys are going and buying a lot of those mega boxes, because we got to sell a lot. This week is crazy because we're going to the Freedom Fest this week, which is very important, right? How many of you guys are going to Freedom Fest? I hope all of you. But we're going to Freedom Fest. We'll be there on Friday. I was going to leave on Thursday and get there early on Friday, but I decided I'm not. So I'm going to leave Friday, and I'll probably get there Friday night, because they're not really going to be doing anything until later on Saturday, which hopefully it's not really hot. But we're going to be giving away a ton of free coffee. We'll meet you guys there. We'll have a couple of shirts, not too many, that we're going to be selling. We'll have hopefully a lot of coffee, as long as I get it all packaged in time. And we'll just be there. I'm there because it's a Freedom Fest, and I'm going for myself. In terms of live streaming, it doesn't appear that we will be live streaming. I will on Friday night do a live show from my motorhome, likely there, or if I'm not there yet, I'll just pull over. But the live streaming there, for whatever reason, they didn't want it live streamed, which I'm not quite certain why, but it was their request. So I may just do like little videos and upload them, but we're not going to cover their speeches because they didn't want people to do it. Someone said, can we request a printed mug with our own designs? Yes, you can. So I didn't make the tab, but April can send you a message, and then there is a way where you can custom make a mug on our website as well. What else? What other? So you've heard about what's going on in Saskatchewan? 2 men apparently are responsible for the deaths of 10 men or 10 people and injuring 15 others in a stabbing spree that began yesterday and is still currently going on, although one of the men is dead. And they're not self-inflicted wounds, which is really this whole thing that's going on in Saskatchewan, and I'm saying that wrong, but that's fine, is really odd. So it's apparently it's the James Smith Cree Nation. So I think it's a Native American place, or not. Is it Native American if they're in Canada? I don't know. Native Indian. I don't know what the polite way to say that is, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Up in Canada, these people went on a killing spree and killed 10 people and injured 15 others in 13 separate crime scene locations. Some of them appear to be random. They just attacked and killed people randomly yesterday and then went on the run. And police had no idea where they were. Now, one of them has been found dead. He was found dead with wounds. So this is Damian Sanderson, was found dead with wounds that did not appear to be self-inflicted, said Rhonda Blackmore, commanding officer of the Saskatchewan RCMP. Miles Sanderson, and I don't know what their relation are. They brothers or cousins or whatever. He's still at large and is wanted. The RCMP has also confirmed Monday at the media briefing that the two are brothers. Okay, so they are brothers. 10 people died in the attacks on Sunday in various locations in the province, including James Smith Cree Nation. The injury toll has risen to 18 now as a result. Miles faces 3 counts of first-degree murder. Damien has been charged with 1 count of first-degree murder. Both men were also charged with attempted murder and breaking and entering. Police from Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba were searching for the Sandersons after the attacks prompted a dangerous persons alert. Now, there's currently another dangerous person alert in a different area of Saskatchewan at another First Nation reservation. Is that what they're called? Reservation. At another First Nation place that's not connected to this one where gunmen are on the loose. It's what's going on in Canada. I can't understand it, right? So they're looking now for several armed men that are in a maroon Mustang that are apparently shooting people. And that's not connected to this shooting, which is crazy. Someone said, my guess is a gang war. It could be. I mean, maybe that would make more sense. I don't know how big Saskatchewan is. And I don't know if, or Saskatchewan. Is it Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan? Why do I keep saying Saskatchewan? It's almost like I want to say it. But Truth said, I got my mega box April. And here's the thing. If you order more than 1 mega box, do it in separate orders. You will get double the entries in each order. So if you order a large and then you order and you want, medium for your wife or something like that, then order them in separate orders. One, because it actually does the correct shipping when you do that. And secondly, you'll get 4 entries instead of 2. You know what I'm saying? Saskatchewan is a city in Saskatchewan. Gotcha. One is a province, one is a city. See, I didn't even know that. Yes, but there are two different areas. Derek Bishop, he doesn't live in Saskatchewan. Maybe he does. I don't know. Someone said, I'm impressed Steve got Saskatchewan right. Why? Did I say it wrong? Someone said, Jennifer has been commenting in the chat about she's an engineer or something and she's working on the border. We actually reported on Biden authorizing the DHS to finish a portion of the wall under the guise that they say it's not safe and they need to finish a portion of the wall in Arizona, I believe, because it's not safe. I think we wrote an article, and I know I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, the hypocrisy there, like a lot of political commentators talked about it just for a day, but it doesn't, that's a problem with media. And I don't care too much about it, about this aspect of media. Is I still talk about something even if it doesn't get the play that I feel it should, right? So yes, Biden going back on his border promise and actually building part of the wall and funding that part of the wall, you would think would be a big deal, right? And that's why we talk about it, but it doesn't get play. Like, you can look at the views now. We have half as many people from when we started this show talking about mass shootings. Everyone was super into that because they want to hear about the death and destruction that takes place every day in America. When you get to the rational talk of it, everyone leaves. They don't want to listen to it. And they do it all the time. And that's it. You know, I'm going to keep doing this every single day, you know, as long as we do it. You know, maybe someday if we don't, you know, start making some money and all this, then, you know, maybe we won't have the warehouse and I'll be doing it from a tent or something. But, you know, I'm going to keep doing it. So just go buy the mega boxes, you know, become members on Citizen Stringer. That's a great way too, because I know what's going to happen, because I think I have 10,000 hours on my plan. So when I upload the rest of these videos, the rest of all of these Riot hours, I got to pay more money for them for the storage. So you guys becoming members on Citizen Stringer really does help everything we do. Someone said, "Hey, Steve, what happened to the black lady from the Portland riots?" Which one? Right? I know there's not many because there's only like 4. You know, there's only like 4. So I don't know who that is. Someone said you have like 4 orders. No, you don't. I could tell by the orders. Truth said he has like 4 orders. You have 4 boxes and ordered mugs and 3 orders and shirts. No. Oh, you're saying you have all the entries. I thought you meant you have 4 double entries today. And I'm like, no, you don't. Because it looks like we've only sold 1. We sold 1 box during the show and 1 before the show, which is good. But you guys, like, if you want some giveaways and all that stuff, do it. But yeah, what is it? I was trying to see what's going on in the chat on Citizen Stringer, but I don't know. Someone said, which is a video where the Proud Boys marched up and down the streets looking for Antifa, the bar Eddie's? That was December 12th. December 12th, 2020. That was my live footage that I was there. But remember, all of my camera and equipment died. But you know what's funny? On this camera, it's on my memory cards. Some of that day, because when I was doing the fire, I actually realized when I was covering the fire that was happening behind the store, not here. I feel like I'm in the store, but I'm in the warehouse, which is 45 minutes north of the store. But when I was leaving the store that night, and there was that big fully involved fire, that I just went and grabbed this camera, went out there, and when I was looking at the footage before, I realized I have that December 12th footage on social media, or on this camera that I've never taken off because I don't have the little thing. I thought computers still have the memory card thing. They don't. And I know where it is. It's at the store, so now I have to go back there. Katniss said, I'm going to be ordering a box, but I'm having health issues today, so I'm in bed and don't feel like getting my purse. I'm also not chatting because it's painful to do that. Well, feel better. Feel better. Teresa said, I have 370 points. What's it for? I don't know what you're talking about. Wasn't Patriot Front marching somewhere? Yeah, Indianapolis. They marched. The feds. I mean, Patriot Front. Yeah. Yeah, they marched. Mainstream media barely touched it. You know, because here's the thing. The novelty of that group is wearing off. Everyone knows they're all Fed ops. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. And here's the funny thing, because I'll be honest, they never get confronted anywhere where they are either. Like, I could be honest. If they were marching up and down the street here, I'm going to start knocking some heads off. I don't care if I get my butt kicked, but because I just don't like them. You know, I don't like that group because they're fucking imposters. They don't give a shit about this country. They don't care about anybody. Someone said reward points. We have rewards set up on our website. I don't know how we have to convert them. I got to talk to the supplier because it was supposed to be for every $5 spent, you have an entry, but that's not active right now because I don't know how to switch them over. So right now we're just doing it based on the entry, based on your order. So if I see you order a box, I can manually code that. So it's two entries. If you buy, a bag of coffee or 2 bags of coffee or whatever, that's one on one separate order. It's every single order gets you an entry unless you order a mega box and then you have 2 entries. So you can get a USB stick for the camera. Yeah. One of the Proud Boys got stabbed. Yeah, actually not 1, 4. See, it's weird because I thought when I was there that it was 4. And I think I was live because you saw me launch in the Proud, because here's the thing is I don't want anyone to get killed in front of me, right? So I know that this Antifa dude on December 12th, 2020 stabbed 4 Proud Boys, right? I saw it. I was there. I was right there. I think I caught part of it on camera. However, they immediately, they were defending themselves, but they were like, I thought they were going to start harming them. The guy that did the stabbing, so on my video, you see me losing my temper and throwing around some Proud Boys because I thought they were going to kill the guy. So I'm pulling them off. I'm pulling the Proud Boys off as the cops then came in and pepper sprayed everybody. So I got a nice mouthful of pepper spray. It was fun. It was fun. Fun stuff. Freedom Fest, Freddie said, here I come. Told doctor today he is DCing me before Friday because I have important people to see. Nice. Hopefully you all go. Someone said, what's the model camera that I'm using? It's the best podcast. It's not a podcast camera. It's a Canon XA15 video camera that I use for when we go out and actually do journalism. I'm using it now. You can't. Which one is it? Yeah, so you can kind of see the front of it right there. Kind of. You can kind of see it. But this one's got the best picture. It's got the nice silhouette and all that, except that's not a camera. As you can see here, that's a fucking computer. The Macintosh has the best freaking camera out of all of them right now. Whatever. What else? John Sullivan. So people want an update on John Sullivan. Nothing. He is they postponed it again until I think the next one is May 2023. I just pulled his pacer today to see if there's any update in it. He's gone back and forth and different attorneys. He's got some high-powered attorney in Washington, D.C. He is not in jail. He's out in Utah doing whatever the hell he's doing, freeloading, making shitty music. I have no idea what he's doing. He's still facing all the charges. They still seized his money. And he did try to petition to get it back, and the courts are like, fuck off. So yeah, that's the update on John Sullivan. I check every month to see if there's any difference. Someone said you moved the office around. Yeah, I did because I needed to get it so the light wasn't reflecting, because that was the big issue with this camera is the light was reflecting off of the windows and all that stuff. So I needed to move it around. And now, granted, I'm not using the room for its full, ability, but whatever. The only thing I do is I'm working here all day. Yeah, well, I'm here, but then I'm in the back too, printing all this stuff. But you know what I'm saying? The one, if anyone should be in prison, is John Sullivan. Yeah. 360 Steven made a stupid comment. Said maybe I should interview Angry Viking. Maybe he'll wear his wig. No, I mean, I didn't play it to be mean at him. That's not why I did the video. I did it because it was funny. It's funny. That's what I thought. That weird scream emo crap. No. But someone said, is that black privilege that John Sullivan is not in jail? I have no idea what it is, to be honest. I've tried to figure it out for the life of me because he's facing some of the most serious criminal charges out of all of the J6 defendants. Truly, if you look at what his charges are, he's got several felonies, federal felonies, and many of those federal felonies were activated after his original charge. He was charged with lying to the Fed. He is one of the very few people that actually had a sharp-edged weapon inside the Capitol by his own admission. And he's charged with it, and mainstream media ignores it. Mainstream media ignores the fact that he had a knife inside the Capitol and offered to give it to these violent rioters, as everybody says, so they could pry open the door. On his own video, you hear him say, I got it. And Jade Sacker, the documentary worker that was with him, that he kissed inside the Oval section of the Capitol, she's never been charged. She apparently, and I know why, You know, I know why she's not been charged, even though she climbed through a broken window to enter the Capitol. It's because of who her dad is, you know, and I don't feel like getting sued too much, so I'm not really going to mention his name. But everyone could do your own research and find out why Hollywood is involved in January 6th, you know? But yeah, it's very odd. It's very odd. Someone said that his dad is a Fed. No, his dad isn't. And this is the thing, because there's a lot of misinformation that first came out about John Sullivan. John Sullivan's father, his adoptive dad, did work in the Pentagon, but he wasn't this big psyop fucking person. He was like a helicopter guy, like a logistics with helicopter, you know, movements and shit like that. That's what he did. Everybody is confusing it because there's another John Sullivan that was in the military that did work on psyops and stuff. That's not his dad. I've talked to John Sullivan's dad because remember, I covered John Sullivan long before January 6th, before mainstream media was like, we're not covering this guy. I was like, he's a terrorist. Everyone's like, we're not covering him. I'm like, he's a terrorist. You know what I mean? And I said that long before. Nobody cares. And I also interviewed him too on my show after January 6th. And I asked him how he turned into a scumbag terrorist, and he didn't like that. And then I did try to surprise interview him with his brother. Yeah, you know, and he rage quit because he doesn't like his brother. And his brother was, and I was like, that was a good, I should play that again one night. You know what? I'll try to find that and put that on demand in Citizen Stringer as well, because that was funny. Someone said, wasn't he on the phone or something with that Island Boys once? That was hysterical. I did do an interview with the Island Boys as well. Yep. I asked him why his music sounds like a dead cat singing or crying. I think it was a dead cat crying. I should do those TikTok interviews more, right? I should. Maybe I'll start doing that tomorrow. Maybe because right now I'm trying to fill to the end of the time, 9:30, because at 9:30, Citizen Stringer TV switches over to September 5th, 2020. The Riot footage begins right away on a cue. It's amazing, right? What you can do when you actually like do your job. But yeah, that's going to switch right at, right then. But someone said, I heard the Island Boys are broke. They were probably broke before. How much to rerun riots until the election? I don't know what you mean. We're going to be doing it every day, every single night. If you're talking about on social media, I'm not. I mean, my video got taken down this weekend, so I'm not doing it. But I will do it on Citizen Stringer every single night. Every night of the week, forever. I will play after my show. I will play 2 years ago's days worth of riots. So like, for example, tomorrow after my show, tomorrow night at 9:30, it'll kick on the riots from September 6th. And then on Wednesday, September 7th. And you know what I mean? And every single day, and we'll cover the riots in its eternity, because I believe that I want it concrete in your minds what happened. And I tell you what, if you're up super early in the morning, turn it on, because that's when all the Portland shit, because they went pretty hard, you know, they went pretty hard in Portland, Oregon. And it's also on demand. Again, you got to be a member, because I'm trying to keep this fucking thing open, guys. You know what I mean? Because we're kind of at the point where I'm like, do I keep doing the show or do I just focus on the coffee? Because I have all this stuff that I need to do to make coffee work. And, you know, so far I was really hoping we were going to have a rush on the store. It didn't really happen. Because I'm trying not to finance stuff, like, right? So like everyone's like, oh, you need to have this and this for your coffee shop. So I want to make it so we have like the free cups of coffee, like we're going to do. But then I want to make $1 cappuccinos and lattes and all that stuff, right? And I found the machine. I need a couple of grand for the machine. It's not a couple of grand, it's $4,000. $4,000. But then, once I do that, game's over. Game's over. We will have coffee shops all around the United States, because once I have the concept and once it's running, that's it. But 619 Dunner said you owe us a show. I don't owe you shit, 619 Dunner. I don't even recognize your name. Someone said, Steve, find a video of you dancing in a chair. Yeah, I don't know where that is. Truth said, I love my August mega box, Steve. Yeah, they were pretty good boxes. I like those because the quality of the shirts are much, much better than some of the other ones. And the designs are better because I'm putting more time. Scott said, Steve, I was talking about the black lady from Portland that was going to have a show on your channel. She was trying to stop people from rioting. Yeah, I don't remember what her name was. But yeah, she was on our show, but she had too many issues. It didn't work. Lil Acorn said, I had coffee from a 15K machine, made good coffee, just not the greatest coffee grounds. Yeah, but you got to use the coffee. 619 Dunner said, what was the lifetime membership for then? Yeah, but I don't know. 1619 Dunner, why don't you send me an email so I could even verify you're a lifetime member? Because otherwise you're kind of annoying the shit out of me, bro. So like, seriously, like fuck off. I've never been a really nice guy. You know what I mean? Especially to people that are like, you work for me. Fuck you, I do. I make these videos and you guys respond to them. That's fine. Oh, one of the other things I want to talk about. Deplorable chicken head. No, send me an email and then I'll check on your order status or log back in and check your order yourself. Because if you ordered an August mega box, it did ship. Every single one of them shipped. Anyway, what was I saying before these people started pissing me off? And I don't mean to be mean to the one that was asking for the order number. Just seriously, check your email because you should have got an update. Everyone did. What the hell was I saying? Very detailed window cleaner. All right, let's just fucking get rid of some of these. I don't know. Oreo must have ended his live feed, right? that must have been what happened. All right, so 1776 restoration pedophile movement has gone AWOL. They apparently are getting kicked out of the place that they're going to. They're kind of like homeless. Luckily, one of their viewers or one of their supporters paid for the hotels for everybody. This is where it gets weird because they've kicked out some of the like religious people that were with them the entire time, like Golden Chariot or something like that. He's been kicked out. He's pissed. I don't really follow any of this shit too much. Oreo Express is there, but he was being extremely calm, but refusing to talk about what's going on, saying that Santa is now not running the place. Now it's a board, apparently, and that they're having a meeting to sign a long-term lease on a property, which is weird. That's weird. Because that seems more like a business instead of a movement. And maybe they're treating it like a business and more power to them, or a cult. And they're trying to get a property where they can all live together and do weird shit. That's what's kind of, that's what's kind of crazy. Cheryl Wells, again, you know, all my back end producers who are not my producers, like Cheryl here, telling me I shouldn't talk about something if I don't know. I don't give a fuck about the 1776 pedophile movement. That group that supported pedophiles is never going to get any positive news from me ever. And I'll be honest. Is that mean? Is that mean? No, it's not. You know why? Because they provided safe harbor to someone that raped a child. So that's about as clear as I can get right there. Someone said, I think WYSIWYG moved from California to where? I know he moved to the East Coast, but Adam is not streaming. No, Adam may come on the show in the next week or two with me because he's got a new thing he's doing. And I told him he should come on the show and talk to you guys about it. So we'll see. Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make you cry? The business is in Santa's name, someone said. Yeah. I don't know. And someone said there are no pedophiles anymore. Okay, once a pedophile, always a pedophile. Or once a pedophile enabler, always a pedophile enabler. And if you believe that pedophiles are humans and can change, please don't watch my show anymore. Please don't. Someone said, someone said, stop reading the chat. This is what I do at the end of the show. I don't do it all throughout the show. I do it right at the end because, like I said, we're waiting till 9:30. 9:30, Citizen Stringer will automatically switch over to the Riot footage, and then I'll say goodbye to everyone on social media. Because it's not set up, so I can cut it and then stay live on Citizen Stringer yet. I got to figure out how to do that. It's not set up that way. So I got to do it a little bit different. But at the end, I always read the chat. You know what I mean? Always. 1619 Dunner said it means for the lifetime of the show. It could mean from one day to Steve's lifetime online. Don, what? The lifetime of the show? Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't remember, so when we started this whole thing when it was originally freightbrokerlive.tv, right? I hosted the show called Wake Up America, which this isn't Wake Up America. From when we started our online portal to now is completely different. The way because before it was just riots. Now we actually cover the news, we cover politics, we cover all that. It's changing. You know what I mean? So what we are doing is changing. We're putting up our old riot footage because I believe, and I've had it the whole time, I believe the world needs to see this stuff again, which is why we're putting it back up. We have added costs for this stuff. We are not making Riot money anymore. So obviously that, the memberships are pretty crucial here. Anyone who was a founding member, one of the $12.99 a year members, your memberships, depending on whether you were on the other site or not, your memberships are bumping to $6.99 a month, which is a 50% discount from the monthly membership starting in either December or May of 2023. The majority of you are May of 2023. And we have to do that because otherwise we just can't keep the site open. So, you know what I mean? But someone said we are never forgetting the riots. Yeah, that's why we're streaming it. Mike Hawkins said, clickbait, haha, not making Riot money, so we need to play footage of riots to make money back. No, because we don't need to do that to make money. We still have viewers every day. Where the fuck did all these trolls come from today? They're kind of annoying. Anyway, it is 9:29, so this is going to kick over on Citizen Stringer to the Riot stuff. As soon as I see that, we'll switch over. Jay Burns said, did he say they were live streaming the rally on Saturday? They are not, which I don't really understand why, but they are not. They are not. We are evolving. Yep. Anyway, so that just kicked over. So I appreciate all you guys for watching. I appreciate everyone for watching on social media. The September 5th, 2020 Riot coverage is actually kicking on right now on Citizen Stringer. I will see everyone else tomorrow. And we'll go from there. All right. Bye-bye.